Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. I'm actually in Tennessee right now at the Nissan headquarters for Nissan USA for a lot of many different reasons. But guess what? We stumbled across that SUV that many of you have been waiting for. This is the totally redesigned 2022 Nissan Pathfinder. But before we get into this new Nissan SUV, let's talk about what's going on here. So like I've been telling you, Nissan is on a little bit of a renaissance. They're going through their lineup, they're doing the redesigns, and they're bringing some of that excitement that really brought them to the forefront in the 80s and 90s. Now, with the Nissan Pathfinder being that mid-size SUV, this has been a go-to for so many years, even before SUVs were that prime vehicle at the end of the auto industry. Now, the Pathfinder has been around since the 1985s. That was the first year, but with this 2022 model and being an SUV, there's a lot of changes. One of the biggest changes is they got rid of the CVT transmission. With that being said, it's nice to be able to finally bring this to you and bring it in person. So let's go ahead, let's find out, is the Pathfinder now that mid-size SUV that you need to be parking in your garage? Right off the bat, the styling. I love the direction that Nissan is going in, and what's wonderful is with this particular one being an off-road spec trim, it comes in a unique shade of green that even though it's overcast here in Tennessee, it definitely still shines through very nicely. Let's start at the front of the business. So you're gonna get all LED headlights. So with the 4 different trims, you're gonna get LED headlights, the LED daytime running lamps. I really dig how they're blending the style of the headlight housing through their different models. But I think on the Pathfinder, they did it very, very well. Notice how they took the bodywork, kind of segmented in right into this section right here, looking really clean. I love this hard edge that kind of extends out on the exterior. The good news is there's not a bunch of gloss black in this area. It's all painted, and I think it really makes it work, gives it a nice muscular look. Now, as we come across that grille section, if you've been around loving cars as long as I have, you would know that with the Pathfinder, one of the unique touches was the 3 holes in the hood. Well, we don't have that on this model, but what they did was they kind of paid a little connection, a little homage back to that past with the 3 sections there. There's your updated, upgraded Nissan logo, first seen on the Armada that we featured here on Rady's Rides. Nice to see it on this particular Pathfinder. Now with the grille, you do have some gloss black. I do love the horizontal slots, forward-facing camera, especially with this one being more of an off-road spec so that you can see what's going on in front of the vehicle. We work our way down. You do have some flat black, and I love the way they extended it off of the front bumper area. Drop down, you're gonna get your simulated skid plate, and of course, those nice LED fog lamps down below. But definitely the width and the nice hard edges. I think that's one of my favorite things about the Pathfinder, is just looking much more muscular. Now, when we get up onto the hood, look at how nicely there's a soft bend to the front of the hood, meeting with the grille. You're gonna have your edges that kind of slide up towards those A-pillars. This one has some optional goodies on there that you'll be able to utilize on your new Pathfinder coming around. But speaking of coming around the bend here, we have some flat black on the fender flare. I'm digging these wheels. Multi-spoke, gloss black, looking really great with the Nissan logo there. This is an 18-inch wheel. And if you notice, we got these Goodyear Wrangler Duratrack off-road tires. Love the amount of clearance between the top of the tire inside the fender. And if you're wondering, well, what's the size? 265 on the width. And then we have a nice meaty 60 series sidewall. Now the great thing is front wheel drive, of course, but you can get this in that all-wheel drive 4x4 setup. Love the Nissan badge, how it pops off. Nice large rotors, fully ventilated, looking really good. And I'm telling you, the color, this green with the black, works spot on the money. Now, going down the side of the vehicle, you are gonna get gloss black on the mirror caps. Notice how they do the 2-tone style. So the whole roof, everything, A-pillars and roof, all blacked out. A little bit of shiny, bright metal work along the bottom. And I'm glad that they just kept it along the bottom and brought it right into this rear pillar here. Speaking of the bottom, this lower sill extension, look at how they did a beautiful indentation on the door all the way down, curved it down. It's got the Pathfinder name. Really, really nice touch. Gives a lot of extra depth to the side of the vehicle. 'Cause that was another thing, is that if you looked at the previous generation Pathfinder, it was a little little flat on the side. This gives it some nice depth and design of style. We have that cargo basket up top with those massive lights. And then of course you're gonna have your raised roof rail, and then you could put anything, your cargo hauler like this one has, basket. You could put your kayak rack, whatever you have up there. This part right here really is another connection. Just like with the front end of the business, we have this little triangular area to kind of mimic that window that was on the original Pathfinder. I'm so glad that they have this style here. And the way they did the rear quarter window, notice the design, having that floating roof design. They brought the gloss black just down about half, and then a very unique shape to that quarter window. This is another part. I'm gonna have Lori kind of swoop around and just show that flared fender. Look at how it comes off the passenger door into the rear taillights. LED looking good, bold Pathfinder name across the back with that Nissan badge. The gloss black, really slim, very trim. And as we drop down, like I said, this one has that 4-wheel drive setup. You can also get 2-wheel drive, SL trim with the flat silver and some flat black. Plenty of ground clearance underneath, and they tucked the exhaust nicely out of the way so it doesn't get hung up. But why don't we go ahead, let's check out the interior and see what big things are in store for this Pathfinder. All right, guys, we're inside this 2022 Nissan Pathfinder. Remember the engine powering this, that 3.5 liter V6, and I think the biggest news, no longer a CVT transmission. You actually have a 9-speed automatic transmission. Let's go ahead. Pricing is not available right now, but let's go ahead and check out the door panels. Absolutely love the style on the door panel. Everything is a flat black, and there's some gray and some gloss black, but it's really super clean. I love the white contrast stitching, the silver on the door handle, even the flat gray in the middle section. There is some gloss black, nothing too heavy around the switch gear. The armrest is actually soft, and you have a super-sized door pocket there. Easily get 2 Big Macs and a bottle of Coca-Cola to wash it down. Now, when you go from the door panel to the dash, there's some silver around the AC vents. I love the style, the stitch work, soft touch material. Of course, you're gonna have a Twinkie tray with the Pathfinder name, 2 Twinkies right there with that grip material so you're not having your Twinkie slide around. And then, of course, you have that new dash setup with your infotainment system. So great size on the screen. You can go larger, which is nice, but the good news is you're gonna have all the different features that you want, especially when it comes to backup cameras. Look how clear the visual clarity of the cameras are. Out back, you got your 360 cam looking really great. We could go into menu, and then of course, bring up all those features. Is it a touchscreen? Yes, of course it is a touchscreen. Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. You have beautiful start-stop button with some silver. I like the way they brought the silver trim. A little heavy on the gloss black, but I'm gonna wait until I do the full drive review to really see how much glare is gonna come off that gloss black. But you do have your dual climate controls and heated seats, no ventilated seats though. So we'll have to see where the prices are and the trims. This is an SL trim, so kind of not expecting to see ventilated seats. But you have another tray here, easily put 3 Snickers bars, maybe some Milky Way. There's a 12-volt in there and a USB-C and a USB. You have, of course, that electric shifter for that 9-speed automatic. We got a cubby up here for some Mentos, some gloss black. Look at the stitching, but what's really great is you actually have that bridge system for the center console. Having that electric shifter allows you to have that open space. You could fill that up easily with a 5-pound bag of golden delicious apples, maybe some Granny Smiths. 2 cup holders. You got your standard size Nissan key fob with the new Nissan badge there, remote start. The good news is it's very light. The bad news is it's the same key fob. So it looks a little dated, but they are light and they're very, very small. We have our mode selector knob to go through the different modes, which I'll show you that when we get to the business end. Love the Pathfinder name, the stitch work, nice and soft. Open this up, look at all that space in there. Tons of room and a little bit of a peanut tray in there for some Planters peanuts. Seats, love the material. The stitch work is great. Even the way they did a little bit of this grippy cloth material on the side. And then really nice, comfortable seating, large area, power assist on the passenger and the driver. No sunroof in here, which is a little bit of a bummer, but the great news is you got plenty of headroom. Why don't you come over here to the business end though? I want to show you behind the wheel of this new Pathfinder. All right, guys, business time behind the wheel. You got your seat controls, easy to get to, that lower lumbar that feels so good when you're doing a little bit of trail driving down your favorite trails. There's that cloth material I was telling you about. It's very grippy, and I kind of like the way it breaks up all the other material. Steering wheel, tilting and telescoping, nice flat bottom, good thickness. There's your new Nissan badge, of course. Flat black on all the switch gear. Little bit of flat black and some nice brushed aluminum. You do have paddles for the 9-speed automatic. And then this particular one has your standard setup on the dash. Analog tach, analog speedometer, and then of course that digital display in the center that you could toggle through a plethora of information. And then of course you have the modes. So we could go into the different modes: snow, auto, eco, mud, and ruts. And then, of course, towing, because you do get some great towing capability with the V6 and the 9-speed automatic. Seats feel great. Why don't we check out the back seat and see how your passengers are going to enjoy this Pathfinder. All right, guys, mid-row time. Remember, this is a 3-row mid-size SUV. Check out the new door pockets, even for the passengers. I love the way they have all the cup holder options. If you're not going to have cups or bottles in there, fill it up with some Skittles, maybe even some Rolos or something. Really get creative with your candy choices. Backs of the seats, all that wonderful material. Look at how they notch out the back to give you more leg room. You do have these massive pockets. Easily put 2 personal pan pizzas in there. We have our rear AC controls, USB-C, USB, and a 12-volt, so they got you covered there. Just don't put your finger in it, that's gonna hurt. I have my own pocket for my own pizzas. And then guess what? Plenty of room. 6 feet tall. Up there I had plenty of room. Back here I have plenty of room. The AC vents are located up high. I like the lighter headliner. It kind of brightens things up in here. You do have those shades that you could lower and raise manually. And then of course, the seats do slide and they do recline, which is wonderful. And then to top it all off, look at that armrest. Good size armrest, 2 cup holders with a Slim Jim holder in there. Nissan knows you want to party when you're off-roading. Put that back. But why don't we go ahead, let's check out the 3rd row and see what we got going on in this Pathfinder. All right, guys, here we are in the 3rd row. Great news is you just push a nice button. Seats just get right out of the way so you could climb into the back. For somebody as tall as I am, my legs are actually not too high up in my mouth, at least my knees. And the seats back here are comfortable. Now, on future reviews, I will slide all the seats back. With this being a pre-production, we wanted to keep it a little bit simple, but there is what's great. You have connectivity back here, a USB, cup holders, even a Dorito tray. But let's go ahead, let's check out the cargo area and see how much room we have in this Pathfinder. All right, guys, time to get into the back of the Pathfinder. I'm telling you right now, looking at the back of it, they did a really great job. One of my favorite parts of the vehicle, especially with the name. Real simple, you just hit, nice electric assist, super fast, and look what we got. Even with the 3rd row up, you have plenty of space back here. There's a 12-volt, and what's also gonna be great is that when it comes to going camping, doing tailgating, all that fun stuff, lift that up, look at that storage compartment. And it actually has a drain in it, so you could use that as a cooler. Talk about storing all your favorite soft drinks and whatnot so you can have with your Twinkies. And then guess what? Putting the seats down, really, really simple. You're just gonna pull up, you're just gonna push down. You got that 3rd row down. Of course, the mid row will also fold down and give you that maximum space. But you know what? Being a pre-production, you're gonna have to wait for the drive, but why don't we go ahead, if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's wrap this one up. All right, guys, it's been an amazing time here in Nashville, Tennessee at the Nissan headquarters. I definitely gotta thank Steve, Kyle, Jonathan, the whole crew, getting us access to this 2022 Nissan Pathfinder. I am so excited for it. I can't wait to receive the first press fleet vehicle so that we can actually see the driving dynamics, all the changes that they've done. To me, the exterior, they're really moving it in the right direction and a lot of nice touches to the interior. But if you want to keep seeing these types of reviews where we bring it to you here first on Rady's Rides, leave a comment in the comment section. If you're new and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Rady's Rides family. If you want to help us keep making great content on the channel just for you, there's 2 ways to do it. Click the first link, become a Rady's Rides Patreon member. Click the second link, get yourself some Rady's Rides merch. Got to give it up to the queen of the camera. She's out here, temperatures are cold, but she's holding that camera rock steady. Show her some love in the comment section. Thank you, Lori, for all that you do. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.